This is a guide on combat in Dishonored 1, specifically as it pertains to speedruns. There's a little bit of nuance in how you kill people in this game, which once you understand can save a good chunk of time in your next run. Firstly, we have to understand how killing people actually works. We'll just be talking about swordplay in this video, as that's the only method with any real nuance. Enemies are always in either one of two states, which we can call combat ready and kill ready. When you attack a combat ready enemy, you'll just swing your sword at them. However, when you attack a kill ready enemy, Corvo will do some form of kill animation and that enemy will die. Therefore, our goal is to make each enemy we want to kill ready as fast as possible, then execute the fastest possible kill animation. While that may sound like a lot, luckily for us, enemies are by default in the kill ready state. They will then be moved to combat ready once they detect you. So any enemy that has not yet detected you is kill ready. This doesn't just mean sneaking up and stabbing them. Until the 3 red bars break above the head, the enemy will permanently be kill ready. This is, if possible, generally the fastest way to kill an enemy. Another way to force a kill ready state is to stagger an enemy. This is a little more nuanced. You can tell an enemy is staggered from this animation, and there are a number of ways to force this stagger. The most common of which will be sliding into an enemy, parrying the enemy right before they hit you, throwing an object at the enemy, landing on top of an enemy, or winning a locked sword contest with the enemy. Once that stagger animation begins, the enemy is kill ready and they will remain so till the animation finishes. You can also stagger an enemy just by hitting them enough times in quick succession, but this is generally the slowest method of staggering, and because slide staggers exist, there's rarely ever a reason to use this. Another way of making enemies kill ready, very similar to staggering them, is ragdolling them. The only difference really is that there's a longer animation for this one. Ragdolling an enemy generally isn't a state you can or will want to force. It's more a interaction with the terrain where something that would normally stagger an enemy will instead ragdoll them. Certain methods of staggering enemies are consistent, such as using a grenade from a medium distance or using a gun on an officer. But because most methods of ragdolling an enemy can also just kill the enemy, it usually makes sense to just kill the enemy with it instead of ragdolling them. So ragdolling will be much more of a situational thing that will sometimes just happen when you're going for a stagger. And of course, the true simplest way to making an enemy kill ready is just to hit them enough times. If you hit a lower guard once, city watch guard 3 times, overseer 3 times, or officer 4 times, they'll be brought into a kill ready state for the duration of that combat, so it doesn't matter if they lose their stagger or whatnot, the next attack on them will be a kill animation. So, you've now achieved the kill ready state using one of those methods. You're ready to execute the kill. Casually, this usually entails watching a long animation play out, but we don't have time for that, so these are just a few of the methods to bypass it. The most common one for stealth kills is going to be jump slashing. So this is just done by single jumping and then immediately attacking your sword. This only works on unaware enemies or civilians, but is very fast. Wide slashing is our second method. This involves looking away from an enemy, attacking while looking away, then looking back towards the enemy whilst the attack is taking place. This will work on any enemy and is generally the go-to animation cancel in general combat. Slide slashing is our third method. This is simply attacking while sliding. While somewhat slow as you lose momentum to the slide, as a slide can also be used to bring an enemy into a kill ready state, you can chain the two together in the same slide to pretty much kill any enemy in the run. This is generally my go-to in larger combat scenarios where you simply have a large number of enemies to kill quickly and you're not trying to move on, thus your momentum not mattering. To see this working in practice, let's look at the first combat encounter in the game, right after Corvo picks up his first sword. As we enter the room, all 3 enemies are kill ready. However, they spot us and become combat ready. Therefore, we have to bring them back to a kill ready state before we can execute them. The first enemy is simply a lower guard who we can move to a kill ready state with 1 slash, then execute a kill with the second slash. The second guard is a city watch guard, so we can't simply slash him to bring him to a kill ready state. Therefore, we slide into him to make him kill ready, then use that same slide to cancel our execution animation. As you can see, we beat that entire combat encounter with 3 sword slashes and 0 animations, which is obviously very fast, much faster than doing it normally. So to summarize, our first goal is to make an enemy kill ready. We can do this by being undetected, staggering an enemy, ragdolling an enemy, or bringing the enemy's HP low enough. We then execute them with the fastest animation possible through jump slashing, wide slashing, or slide slashing. Any combination of these methods is valid and they all have their own use cases. Of course, for routing and practicing categories, you'll have your preferred method for each NPC, but given the constantly moving nature of NPCs, expecting to encounter them in the same way in each run is generally a mistake, and having this large toolkit of ways to fight can save you a lot of time when that situation inevitably arises.